Hello, everyone, and I hope you're all having a wonderful night tonight. It's Zakiziel here, and tonight I'll be reacting to Hunter the Parenting Chapter 3.7 Ghoul Lore, Big D and Kitten's Crash Course on Unfatally Addicted. I'm sorry it's taken so long for me to get to this, but better late than never. And I've really been looking forward to getting back into Hunter the Parenting especially. And as always, I highly recommend that you check out Brother Alpha Boost's stuff if you aren't doing so already. Show him and the others over at The Ogre some love. They do stellar work. And without further ado, let's see the antics of our favorite group of hunters. Or at least my favorite group.
Family, I am returned.
Ah, Sir D. Welcome home.
Status report.
Oh, mate, I just got some scones out of the oven here.
Ooh, bread.
I was just about to get mopping while they
Bread or cake? That is a question.
sit. As for the others, Door's out in the thicket testing those big guns. Marcus is in an Everclear coma, and Boy is upstairs.
Preparing for a hunt or passed out in stupor. Clear examples of my powerful tutorship.
Marcus is sleeping on the floor and, reflexively punches me when I try to lift him up.
That's my son.
Or he'll put me in a sleeper hold.
So protective.
One time he sleep power bombed me.
I love him.
Wait. So Marcus can punch people, put them in a sleeper hold, and he does this while he's asleep. As he responds to someone trying to pick him up off the floor. Did he teach all of his sons how to fight while unconscious? In case they got kidnapped by someone?
Living with you lot is like if wrestling was real.
Yes, wrestling! It is definitely not real! Don't look into it. I have something for you, by the by.
For me?
Yeah!
Well, that was ominous. Like, I've heard that wrestling is, fake in terms of that everything is scripted. But that people are the actual, people being slammed and whatnot is that part is very real. So I wonder what this means there.
Yes, here you are.
Oh, what is this?
Oh, the blender.
Blender!
Oh, goodness gracious, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, this one looks complex. This must have been a fortune. Where'd you steal it?
Steal? Come now! I bought it!
That's a first.
For 99p.
At the 99p store.
You what?
Yep.
But it doesn't feel 99p.
They don't call me the Duke of Discounts for nothing.
You told
Who calls him that?
me they called you that in prison.
Yes,
Oh.
and many cigarettes had to be and skulls broken into my for hours.
Were they at least bad people?
Most of them.
Right, won't pry anymore, but this blender! Wow!
Wow.
What do all these buttons do? They're like...
That string of... I am both very curious, but also horrified. I'm not sure I actually want to know what he did.
like 15 of them.
Wow.
They don't have any markers on them. They're all just blank?
I am sure they blend things.
Wait, why are all the blades shaped like a biblically accurate ophonym?
No clue, but it sure gives new meaning to the term cutting edge.
Actually, the entire blender looks kind of low resolution. Okay, sorry, that makes no sense. I mean, it's an object, but it just looking at it.
You know, why am I getting the feeling that when I think was it his name was? That when he said that it doesn't work, I get the feeling this isn't a blender.
It looks kind of blurry and undefined somehow.
Please stop complaining about the blender. I'll have to do a nightmare pit to procure.
Oh no,
Ah yes, the blue man.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to complain. I just think it's... Wait, Pit?
Yes.
In the 99p shop.
Yes.
I suppose you get what you pay for.
Yes. The fucking... Ah, yes! The fruits of humanity, son-in-law! A multiverse of purees, now in the palm of your hand! I cannot wait to see what glorious omelet you might cook in this.
Can't wait! We'll get to blending when we, get back from the chapter house. Oh, speaking of, Dawes restored the wall, filled the trap hole, mined the field.
Ever the troubleshooter, that door!
The way things are going, everything will be patched up in time for the chapter house trip. Can't wait to leave our HQ for a bit, even if it's for Yarmouth.
Oh, eager to get back in the field?
More the opposite.
Yeah, they did destroy all of his works on the vamps.
Being chased through my house by a bloodthirsty beast has had me a bit on edge. Just being here where it occurred is kind of uncontrollably anxiety-inducing.
Ah, yes. I forgot you're less acclimated to the lifestyle.
Is it possible to acclimate to almost being killed in your own home?
It's a gradual process.
That's disconcerting.
Hold no worry. You'll find
That also implies how many times that's happened to D.
that sleeping in the blood of your enemies is fantastic for your mental health.
Those bloodstains in the cellar have actually had me tossing and turning quite a bit.
The life of a hunter has little comfort to offer, I fear. But I give you my word. So long as we are under this roof, I will do all in my power to protect you.
That's assuring, Sadi. Thank you. Since the bobbies didn't do any cleaning, maybe you could help me rinse those stains out?
Pressure washer time!
I was thinking mop?
This is wicked vitae we're talking about, and the pressure washer's already loaded with holy water. Let's head for the woodshed.
Why is it in the woodshed?
To hide it from the cops.
Speaking of, I've heard that holy water doesn't necessarily work on Kindred. Specifically that, well, it can work on those who have a folkloric bane to it, and if the person using it has true faith and really believes it will work, that it will, but otherwise, it does nothing.
Why?
I won't have the Norfolk police adulterate my Sophian holy water with their post-Nicene grease!
My mind is limited in what it can figure. Actually, speaking of bobbies, before he collapsed on the carpet, Marcus mentioned something. Do you have contacts within the local police force or something?
Oh, he met with the Chapman guy, did he?
I guess. He met an officer who claimed to be working with you. Same who was at the well station. Another hunter, it seemed.
Yes, he's the officer who interrogated us.
Did he? Did he trip and fall?
He's also a new friend of mine. He's been covering things up for us. It's probably why we ought to return to the house so soon.
Goodness. That's great, actually.
It is. So, if you see him around, be only marginally worried. He's an ally.
I never thought you'd make friends with a copper.
And I never thought they'd let me back into the Holy See. Now, Treasure Washer time!
Right, good. Might be something worth mentioning to Boy. He is, a bit paranoid as of late.
Smell that. Smells consecrated. Ah, yes, and boy. That's not too surprising.
I'm a tad worried. He hasn't slept soundly since the Piotr thing, and especially for an 11-year-old, that's quite bad.
Yes.
I mean, he did get grabbed by Piotr, or in the cave, you know. Oh, and he witnessed quite a lot. I'm honestly surprised that just trouble sleeping is the only thing he has to go through after all that.
The 11-year-old mind does need its 3 hours of daily rest, unlike the adult brain.
Wait, 3 hours?
As of late, he's been madly rambling about horse.
Oh, right, I almost forgot about Horse and the, prophecy, I guess you could call it.
I am aware.
I think his lack of sleep mixed with the absinthe he's been chugging to and fro has led him to believe that Horse is a vampire or a demon or something.
That rapscallion. I remember sneaking into my grandfather's wine stash as a lad. I mean, it is quite normal for a newly awakened hunter to experience delusional nadirs. Though Boy was better primed than most, he is only an 11-year-old man. His world has surely collapsed in on itself. It will take time for him to find himself in this new paradigm, but that does not mean we cannot help him find his way.
Oh yeah? How?
Moratorium time! No more drinking!
Oh, thank God.
Psychedelics and cigars only!
Oh no. Wait. Does that mean the what's it called again? Ayahuasca, I think he was called?
That's not much better.
But it is better.
Arguably?
I've never lost.
Is he gonna give him something that's gonna have him go on a spiritual journey?
Lost an argument of my life. Checkmate! Let's go. Treasure water, get!
Okay. Oh, my noggin's pounding.
Oh, but the pounding has yet to begin. We haven't even broken into the Arcanum yet.
Do we have to?
By the way, I like this background they have going. And it moves around to follow where the characters are. Alright.
Break in? Can't we just
Nope.
knock? Call?
No.
Send a letter?
Son-in-law, you know full well we would sooner be subject to sniper fire than be let in again.
Reynold Blacklaw, yeah, ancestral blood feud and all that. But the Chancellor would surely listen.
Wait, ancestral? How long has that blood feud been going on for?
Woody, though,
If he heard there was an imposter in the chapter house, yeah, I think he'd let us in.
we will still need to get through Remold. Breaking in is our best bet. Even if he were to accost us before we can get to Arkham, he will have to face us in hand-to-hand combat.
I'm just gonna lug around my spear the whole time, I think.
Yes!
And as we know, Remmel does not take a punch well, apparently.
That would be funny and good! Especially given the presence of that Blacklaw hooligan. Oh! And that ghoul Kevin told me about.
Goodness. The prospect of one of our own being a traitor is frightening.
It certainly is.
Speaking of, I have heard so many theories and some very compelling arguments behind who the ghoul is. Can't wait to actually see if they reveal it in the next big episode.
But without our skills, that ghoul might jeopardize all the hunters in Norfolk. You got the cellar keys, by the way.
Sure, yeah, just a... Oh, shit. Open!
I love locks, conceptually anyway.
Watch the second stairwell. There's still something horrifyingly slippery down there.
Wait!
What?
Hear that? Vermin.
Bloody hell, we got rats again? Oh, that's one large rat. Oh no, gotta hide all me old scones.
Caution, dear lad.
Caution?
You do remember what we talked about, right? About vampires and their helpers not bound by the night.
Ah, yes. The spy rats, of which Door was raised on a diet of.
Corners on our walls might be subject to their rule. Caution, dear lad. This could be a ghoul.
What? I mean, really? Are you serious?
I do not delegate poetic whims to mere jest, son-in-law. This is now a hunt.
Oh, goodness gracious.
We can't possibly locate it like this.
They say that supposedly, ghouls can use some of the disciplines of their masters, which there is something absolutely hilarious to me about the idea of, say, a gold rat being able to use obtenebration.
We'll scrounge forth the tools necessary to destroy this noxious beast.
Oh, we have to kill it?
Come, we must get the ear trumpet.
Trumpet? For listening through the walls?
Of course. Quickly and quietly. It should be in the random shit vault.
The random shit vault? Is that what he calls the armory, or...
The old stilt storage.
That's the spice. Tactical retreat!
Oh.
Oh boy.
Wait. The stilt?
Sir.
Does that mean a kitten has had more than just one pair of stilts in there?
We've only briefly talked on ghouls in the past.
Of course. Delicious omelette.
Can we talk a bit more in-depth on them as a quarry?
Ho, ho, ho! Would you put it like that? How could I not?
I mean, Dee does like to talk at length about things that he knows.
I'd actually been meaning to, I have something secret and highly sensitive to divulge to you and only you!
Certainly.
The ear trumpet should be with the ear muffs and the ear vacuum and the ear jar.
Wait, ear vacuum and ear jar?
Wherever those are.
Not the ear jar.
Bossy, look! Let us get some ghoulish gossip going!
Right. Would you mind if I wrote stuff down?
That is certainly a better use of your time. Leave the trumpet sleuthing to me!
So, I'm just going through my old notes on ghouls here. Blank body serfs. Mortals grown addicted to blank body ichor. They serve their masters with impassioned devotion. They carry a, quote, whisper of a blank's abilities, quote, smatterings of blank body magics. They can act as spies, reporting breaches in the code of silence that blank body under societies impose. That's all I've got.
Canny summation of the ghoul vassal, if I do say so myself. But like the bog, your brain yearns for more to haplessly sink into its depths.
For sure, sink away. You could liken me to the Norfolk Broads.
Wow, wasn't expecting such vulgar humor out of you, son-in-law.
You what? No, I meant, I like Norfolk's the wetlands.
Did you dig grows ever deeper? More moist. Get out, quickly! Quickly, you'll sink!
All right. What I'm trying to say is, I've been in it for a bit now, and I do try to follow your example with practical learning. But I love theory.
You do.
I cannot get away from the fact that I love theory.
True!
So I just want to pick your brain a bit. It might help us with spying some clues that can help us spot the ghoul easier.
Your wisdom is vast. Allow me to rip my brain forth and present it to you, warts and all. You have officially entered Ghoul School, dear student. And your first lesson? Well, I'll let you plan your own curriculum, so we avoid another letting the vampires drink each other for power scenario.
Marcus would love to do that too.
We'll talk about that. Ooh, I found my old humor extractor.
Right.
Another one of those things that makes me wonder just how old he is, given that wasn't the whole idea of like, the humors and all that something from like I don't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but like wasn't that like 1800s at least?
Grand. So then I have a first subject just laying out the basics.
Topic 1. How is a ghoul created and what is their role?
How is a ghoul created and what is their role?
For our purposes, a ghoul is simply a living thing that has drank vampire blood.
That's it? What about the whole blood slave angle?
A ghoul is not necessarily a serf, nor even a regular vitae drinker. What's more, the word is actually something of a slur in origin.
What the hell? We're referring to them by a slur name, Sir D?
Yes, and there's several different kinds of hells, too.
What?
The term ghoul stems from the imbalanced power dynamic between them and their domitors. A vast gulf hewn out by the vampiric elite. Whilst derisive, it is the standardized term for non-vampiric vitae drinkers, even among the more progressive of their kind. And so far, I've never heard a ghoul use any other moniker.
In our ignorance, I suppose we'll have to settle for it?
Things will change once we mass evaporate enough of the vampire elite, I assure you.
But I'd still assume a,
Yeah, I have a feeling that before something that happens, the Camarilla might have something to say about that. Something that might involve an entire city being locked down, and an army's worth of people. Will assume it gets to the stage where their hand gets forced.
Ghoul has a particular role in vampiric society, yeah? You framed them as the vamp's eyes and ears during the day, helping prevent the truth of their existence from being discovered.
This is true of many ghouls, but not all. They're the servant class of the vampires. Greater than us kind in their estimations, but still decidedly subordinate and inferior. As such, they can perform many menial tasks for their domitors. Spies, guardians, butlers, custodians. Some even have no true purpose to their power-broking schemes, and are kept merely as trophies, pets, or companions. So, in a way, does someone who earns a wage have a particular role in our society? It's the same answer.
Is that an apt comparison?
Yes! Much like the peasant class, they are defined by their exploitation by blood-sucking vampires.
Ah, like me old manager.
You get it! The difference is that
And it's more literal than figurative.
ghouls, too, suck. A horrid, awful example is a ghoul we hunted 11 years ago in Poland. Her name was Primordial Hag Rosalia, a title she herself insisted upon. She was an amazing, but complex woman. Upon courting me in the tranquil embrace of a Wednesday's twilight, amidst a holy grove at the ancient Oakland, I soon learned of her fatal addiction. She, the faithful serf of a vampire wizard, one we had tracked through the slow stilling of the local pulse, was the perfect embodiment of the normative thrall rule.
Slow stilling of the local pulse. So I assume that means he was leaving a trail of bodies. In Vampire Wizard, so I assume Tremere.
Bound tirelessly to her dormitor, she was their eyes and ears. She acted as clandestine agent and a lethal hand in her domitor's domain. She also served as an economist, a chauffeur, a maid, and a reserve blood bag, all in one sorrowful symphony of servitude.
Relatable.
What?
Wait. I'm seeing a pattern here considering that Kevin was an accountant.
Nothing.
What?
Sorry.
What? Body burying! She also buried bodies.
Oh.
And took care of the camels.
Wait, camels? In Poland?
Camels in Poland.
The camel ghoul, son-in-law. Camels.
We have gone too far. So she was a normative ghoul.
More or less. Ha-ha! Yes!
You found the ear trumpet?
By human hearing, we are no longer bound. We trumpet by ear. Our prey will be found.
You inspire endlessly, sir.
Thank you.
Sorry, but for, what was her name? Rosalia?
Primordial hag Rosalia. Yes.
Sure, sorry. How exactly could she put up with all that?
Well, past the impossibly addictive nature of the vitae, there's also the blood bond.
Blood bond, okay. I think that's a new one. Let's go with that for our next topic.
Certainly. Let's keep up our discussion as we head out. But first, let us see what we might have gained. All right, trumpets up to my ear. Say something funny.
Something funny.
My ear!
I'm sorry?
Perfect. With war gear in hand, this is where the hunt truly starts. Let us go!
Were those hearing aids really that? Well, actually, then again, they were made for people who are losing their hearing.
Right. So, what is the blood bond?
It is a truly
Total
unquestionably
voice.
vile thing. The blood bond is to take the very essence of a person and wring it whole in chain. To enslave someone's very thoughts.
Like, convince them that the thoughts and actions of their bondee are their own?
In a way, son-in-law, but much worse. The blood bond is, to most, completely indistinguishable from the natural feelings of loyalty, faith, duty, and love. The blood-bonded brain will do its all to trick itself into believing that these feelings, and anything demanded of them by their regnant, are legitimate, justified, and good. It can warp a thrall's very perception of reality, changing it to a world where their regnant is the undisputed center.
That is undoubtedly scary.
Yes, or as Kevin put it, if you actually come to in any way question this, then something in the back of your mind tells you that you're wrong for having these thoughts, and you basically start gaslighting yourself.
But being blood bonded is not a prerequisite to being a ghoul.
A question with an irritating answer. It is not, but almost all ghouls who drink directly from a dormitor are immediately bound in some way via the first drink. It is often assumed to be a prerequisite, because their bond exists from the first drink. It is only after the third they are truly enthralled. But depending on how frequently they are fed and how attentive their regnant is, ghouls can either be slavishly devoted or fiercely resentful of this situation. This all entirely assuming that they're drinking fresh vitae from the source, and not vitae that has sat and had the blood bonding effect go out of it. In the end, a liar is someone who has lied. A thief is someone who has stolen. A rat is someone who has talked. A liégeois is someone who has, for whatever fucking reason, decided to live in Liege, Belgium, and honestly hasn't had the sense to leave yet. I mean,
In
honestly!
short, said he.
And a ghoul is someone who has drunk vampiric vitae. The qualifier is only that you have committed to it once, and the label is not necessarily a permanent one. That is all a ghoul is.
Ah, right, got it. Okay. So this slavishly devoted part of our summation of ghouls is the result of this blood bond and not actually necessarily part of being a ghoul, yes?
Well, yes,
Yes
and
and
no.
no.
Don't do that.
Ah, son-in-law, it is me, Sir D. I am a font of inspiration and ideas.
Oh, you pernicious prankster.
Sorry.
Well, let me elucidate. Right, so, drinking blood. Have you drunken blood?
Closest I've gotten to is a rare blue steak, maybe wet black pudding. Oh, when Marcus impacted me and we flew into the bus
A
together.
blemish on your gastronomic repute.
That still hurts.
But good for our exposition. Your regular fellow does not drink raw blood. For the purposes of this generalization, we are excluding Boy, Dor, and the fearsome Mongol hordes of Genghis Khan. But yes, you would not drink raw blood. Especially not raw human blood. Especially not directly from some nasty dude's wrist. That's grody. Disgusting. Why ever do it? This is a call to engagement, son-in-law. Why would someone drink from the grody man's wrist?
My assumption was that they were simply forced to drink. Kevin used a strange mind trick to prevent us from moving back in the Binham tunnels. In such a way, they could force their ghouls to drink their blood and then,
Say no more, for you are completely wrong, son-in-law.
Good, I am learning.
Whilst
Yes, because while you can force someone to drink, not all kindred that even have the ability to dominate others in that way.
many are forced or even tricked into drinking it, the vampire's vitae activates something in the brain upon so much as getting close to it.
Activates?
Concept of free will is blasted into the realm of myth as you, small lad scared by slightly too big chicken, suddenly guzzles down that foul corpse liquid. No, that irresistible wrist nectar with no fear, no disgust, and barely any notion of what you're doing.
That is as appalling as it is worrying. And once you drink...
You are Ghouled. And so met with a craving that would take other drugs weeks to engender. And from there, the spiral only deepens.
Given that, the blood bond just kind of comes naturally for most ghouls, I take it.
It does. We are both the incredibly addictive vitae in of itself, hitting like no other barbiturate. Then, there is the blood bond.
For some reason, I'm beginning to wonder if the reason why D uses such a cocktail of drugs regularly is as a, I don't know, something of a countermeasure maybe. So that if for some reason he isn't a kindred attempted to try to blood bond him, he would, well, already have had many very strong things that might possibly have given him some level of tolerance to that kind of thing, if that's even possible.
Which materializes the more someone drinks of the same vampire's vitae. As I heard it from Rosalia, she drank 3 separate times on 3 different occasions, 24-something hours between each drink. After that, the bond took a complete stranglehold.
And much like her, that is when a ghoul becomes their domitor's retainer, basically.
Their trusted retainer, at the least. Even if they were originally unwilling, like Rosalia was. They are now both addicted and bound to the will and vitae of the vampire, overwhelmed by an uncontrollable feeling of loyalty and desire for their heinous master. That slavish devotion to the vitae comes in 2 for many, or just in 1 for some.
The ability to mess with the brain like that, the thing that makes us... us.
You can just imagine the breadth of power fantasies enacted by those vampires willing to abuse it. Enslave your past bully, enslave your working staff, enslave your desired lover.
I mean, for that second one, you kind of don't even need to ghoul them.
That is beyond horror.
Oh, yes, but believe you me, it gets far worse.
Really? Oh, goodness.
But not yet! The rat awaits, child! We will have to pace ourselves like we're out pubbing in Great Yarmouth!
So, spot of tea followed by a crack injection?
What the? You don't inject! So tell me, do you believe Yarmy
Don't you smoke it?
is fundamentally broken on some spiritual level?
Yes.
Might it somehow connect with the 99p stores and the mini golf courses?
Oh, I am sure.
The masters of these accursed places must be hunted down! The clubhead, the groundkeeper, all bound for annihilation, much like the British royalty. Oh, Queen Victoria, you'll rue that day yet!
Fairly sure Queen Victoria's dead.
I'm sure you are, but I'm not convinced.
Well, before we get back to the hunt, let me ask. Are there vampires who never actually blood bond their ghouls?
Certainly. I've known vampires who refuse the blood bond out of principle, but still feed vitae to their ghouls. They need only be careful.
So, not all ghouls are blood bonded, but all who are blood bonded are ghouls.
Yes! Except vampires. Well, vampire ghouls are, for our purposes, technically a thing, but it would many times come across as immensely derogatory to call a vampire a ghoul.
Because it's a slur?
It's more that it's an immediate turning of their social order, placing one of the kindred in the same position as their slaves.
So, what? According to those who structure power in their societies, a vampire cannot be a ghoul by definition?
Yes! And it's not a definition we have to use. Their definition is formed and enforced by societal standards, traditions, and their hierarchical order. So, if you want to insult a high-flown vampire wizard, defy them and insist upon calling them a ghoul. Just don't let them touch you.
Oh, we are really getting stuck in now. But look, while we're talking terms, I have a new topic.
Very good. But before that,
Oh, right, the hunt, sorry.
my
rat
augmented
hunting.
ear must ascertain the creature's current location.
What are you...
I'm listening for movements through the wall.
Isn't it trickier to listen through the house's exterior wall than doing it through the walls inside?
I hear it!
I guess not.
Wait. I think this rat has 8 legs?
8 legs?
What poor freak has invaded our home?
I think he heard a spider.
They are able, they will soon come to regret it. To the kitchen!
The kitchen?
Wait, but if it's a spider that big, then a tarantula?
All right, maybe I can pack away the scones I made before they dry.
I shall open the kitchen window!
Or what should I do?
Here, take this ear jar!
What? Holy
Oh,
shit!
no, I thought you'd catch
Why
it!
bring the ear
You
jar?
have to do. The irresistible smell of meaty ears will surely attract that morbid pest.
Whose ears even are these?
They're labeled with hexadecimal serial codes behind the lobe so I can keep track. But it doesn't matter now! Leave these
Why does D even have so many ears? Why does he have hexadecimal? Why did he use hexadecimal? I guess it's coded. So the average person wouldn't be able to tell.
ears in peace.
Oh boy.
We will take our vantage point outside the window. When the beast strikes, we will snipe it with a powerful pressure washer. We'll hit it so hard, even the regnant will feel it.
Okay. We're just gonna sit here in the yard?
I love the yard!
Fair. You'll clean up the ears, yeah?
Sure, if there are any left.
Good. Whew. Mind if I bring up another topic?
Bring them like boats up the mountaintop.
What is a domitor and what is a regnant?
I think I'm going to pause it here. I don't want these to get too long. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching with me. Yeah, and if you did, I'd appreciate if you like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, ta-ta, and I hope you all have a wonderful night.